because we are in the middle of the story, I'll start with a short review. The sin, Shmuel's sin was that Shaul's sin was that Shmuel sent him to destroy Amalek. He win them, he beat them in the battle, but he left Agag, the king of Amalek, and all the sheep. Probably he wants to leave Agag or give a mercy for Agag and the nation, the people for the sheep. We said that it's a very severe sin because not only that he didn't do what God said, it's even more that it symbolized something, that he thinks that kings are above the nation, which means him and Agag are above both of the two nations, and it's exactly the opposite of the idea of Israeli king, the idea why they choose him, why they choose Shaul. What God said to Shmuel is he won't be a king anymore. Now Shmuel come to tell him that. What we asked, and we will answer here at the end, why he can't be a king anymore, and David, that have much more severe sin, David got a punishment, very big punishment, but continued to be a king. Why there is this difference? We started to answer, or the answer that we started to see, and we'll finish it in a few minutes, that Shmuel gave him some opportunities to say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, and ask him at the beginning, what did you do? So he didn't took this opportunity, he didn't take this opportunity, and he said, I fulfilled what God said. And then he criticized him, and instead of saying, alright, now I understand, I'm sorry, he started with one excuse, that the people wanted, and then he criticized him for that, and he said, you have the power, you are the king, and maybe it's also the essence of kingdom, that you will lead the nation, not the opposite. And then you have another excuse, that you want to sacrifice all those sheep. And then Shmuel again, he said, this is not what you should do. God don't want those sacrifices. God wants that you will obey what He said. So all the time, instead of say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, he have some excuses. All this conversation till now. Now we reach to Pasuk of Dalet 24. That here, this is the first time that he said, I made a mistake. Right? So we're in Perek Tetvav, Pasuk of Dalet. 15, Pasuk 24. What?
Where do you want me to read from?
From 24.
Okay.
24 to 26.
Okay. And Shaul said to Shmuel, I have sinned, for I transgressed the Lord's command and your word, for I feared the people and I hearkened to their voice. And now forgive now my sin and return with me, and I shall prostrate myself to the Lord. And Shmuel said to Shaul, I shall not return with you, for you have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you from being the king over Israel.
Right, so now at least Shaul apologized. He said, I made a mistake. So why Shmuel didn't accept his apology? Why didn't accept it? Why Shmuel said, no, I'm not accepting it, you won't be king anymore? Now, it's not written here, but it will be in few psukim, the reason why Shaul apologized. Shaul said, I want you to come with me. He said it here. In a minute he will say it again. I want to come with me, to give me the honor. Come with me to sacrifice in front of all the nation. Which means they talk together, and all the nation know that Shaul represent the kingdom, Shmuel represent God command. All this war was a religious war. So he wants Shmuel to come with him to stand in front of the nation, of the people. And Shmuel refused. Now, when he said like that, I'm sorry, now let's go, now let's come with me, I think it's explained for us what was this I'm sorry. It's I'm sorry only for accept something.
Ulterior motives.
What?
Ulterior motives. He had another reason for it. It wasn't he wasn't really sorry.
Yeah.
He had another plan in mind, and it was
Exactly, which means it wasn't something deep in his heart that he's really sorry. It just something not activity, but like you said, something very practical thought. He wants something that Shmuel will do, and because of that, Shmuel refused, and he said, "I won't come with you." Like I said last class, and we can see it in all of this conversation, it's not only the argument between Shaul and Shmuel. It represents something much bigger. Shaul is the kingdom, Shmuel is the prophet. Or Shaul is a political leadership, Shmuel is our religion. And those relationships, those very, very complicated relationship of love and hate, or who is greater and who is under who, it's something that going with us all over the history, and also here. After he did his sin, he wants to stand in front of the people together, which means to say, I'm either the king and not the religious leader, but the king according to what God said. And Shmuel doesn't agree. Which means maybe you're a good king, but I doesn't agree to be in this position, and because of that, you can't be a king anymore. Right? So let's read another two psukim, 3 psukim.
And Shmuel turned to go, and he seized the skirt of his robe, and it tore. And Shmuel said to him, the Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today, and has given it to your fellow who is better than you. And also the strength of Israel will neither lie nor repent, for he is not a man to repent. And he said, I have sinned, now honor me now in the presence of the elders of my people and in the presence of Israel, and return with me, and I shall prostrate myself to the Lord your God.
Right. So we can see here a few things. First of all, he wants to go, and Shmuel hold his coat, and it's tear. Not tear. It's being teared. What?
Tore.
Being tore.
It tore.
In tore. Now, it tore. It tore. Okay. So this is something very symbolic, and Shmuel said it in a minute. It's very symbolic. It tore like the kingdom tore from you. Now,
isn't there another story where David tears also the coat, or in Shmuel there was a story like that?
Exactly, in Shmuel Aleph.
In the cave.
It will be in Shmuel Aleph. It will be in Shmuel Aleph. By the way, if you want a sign how to remember what in Shmuel Aleph and what in Shmuel Bet, it's something very easy, because at the beginning of Shmuel Bet, David became to be a king. So all the story that David is only a citizen. So it's in Shmuel Aleph.
Right.
In Shmuel Bet he is a king. Another sign that Shaul will die in the end of Shmuel Aleph. Which means if a story that
if David was king yet, with the torn coat.
So
he tore a piece of the coat.
A piece of the coat of Shaul.
He was in the cave, and Shaul almost found him, but he didn't find him.
Right. So, but I will say all those two signs, because Shaul is alive and David is not a king, so it's in Shmuel Aleph. Now, there are two stories about, or two more stories about the coat. You said that. One of them, what you said, that David is like a tear or cut part of the coat of Shaul coat, the tzitzit, or it's like the tzitzit, but it's just show him something. I don't know if David even knew what it symbolized, because David weren't in this conversation. But it's also symbolized that here now I'm tearing your kingdom. Another quote that we already read.
Yeah, there it went.
What?
That was in the other on Sunday morning.
No. Here in Shmuel. In Shmuel, another quote, not another quote.
Did Hannah brought a
right.
coat?
Hannah made a coat every year. Hannah made a coat for Shmuel. And we said that this coat is something also very, very symbolic. Remember that this place in the Mishkan was not such a good place for education, probably. there were Chofni and Pinchas, and we asked, how could Shmuel become to be such a great person? The answer was the coat. That the coat that grown with him, which means the education of his mother, that grown with him every year. She continued to update his coat, to update his education. Now, I don't know if he continued to update his coat, but now it's this coat of Shmuel, and Shaul teared up this education, this what the coat is symbolized, and or in a different words, if we said that Shmuel symbolized the words of God and Shaul symbolized the kingdom tried to catch by force the religious leader and to take it for him, and it's not going to work. Now this is happened again and again. Sometimes that the king tried to catch the person that represent God. It's happened with, for example, Yoash, the king, that tried to catch Yoyada Kohen. To catch him to be that he will be under him. He represented by taking his own coat. That we know that this coat, what it represents for Shmuel or for us. What happened at the end, like you said, that David will cut the coat of Shaul. Another thing, I think amazing sentence that he said. I have to say it in Hebrew because I think the translation is not. I think there couldn't be any translation that will be good enough. Netzach Yisrael lo yeshaker velo yinachem. You know, Netzach Yisrael. What is the translation? It's pasuk kaftet. Eternal one of Israel. The eternal, which means the eternal of Israel, because our nation is something that continues from generation to generation, and it's something eternal, which means the people are changing, the specific people, but the nation is a nation, and there is a direction to our nation, and it will continue in this direction. So if you won't continue with this direction, someone else will do it, but our nation will continue. By the way, the same idea, the same point, Mordechai said to Esther in the Megillah that we'll read next week. He said, "Revach v'atzala ya'amod leYehudi mimakom acher, ve'at u'bet ovich tovedu," which means God will save our nation, any case, because Am Yisrael will continue always. The question is personality, if you will be in this or not. So now he said it also to Shaul. Netzach Israel lo yeshaker, which means won't fake, won't change. The question is if you will be inside or not, and the answer here is not.
I thought Netzach Israel was God.
It says that.
But they translate Netzach Israel to be God.
Is that what it,
Yeah, eternal one.
it's more matim to the pasuk because
Mine doesn't.
what's
Mine
the
says-
subject of lo yishaker v'lo yinachem? Kilo adam who? Who's the who?
Oh, what's happened on the
All right.
So God, Netzach Israel is that the eternal of Israel is God.
But it goes also
And he won't lie, and he won't change his mind, because he's not a man to change his
But
mind.
that's only one interpretation.
It's one interpretation.
I think it's more matim to the dikduk, because
But if you're talking about Netzach Israel, the destiny, the destiny of Am Yisrael, it also could be the subject of. And now the destiny is not a person. The destiny is not changing. The destiny of Am Yisrael will stay always the same. Now, what the right interpretation? I think in purpose it's written like that because the Tanakh know how to say the name of God. The expression Netzach Israel, it's expression that it's not such a common expression. So I think that this is the destiny. I think also that God is our destiny, which means you can in different ways it's the same interpretation. By the way, I don't know if you know this pasuk Netzach Israel lo yishaker. There was a famous organization that named Nili. Nili is organization is not the word. It's like
movement,
Machteret.
underground.
Underground.
The
Underground in it's very unique underground work because it was in the era of the
Ottoman,
Turkish,
the
Ottoman, that to help the British to conquer Israel. So they were underground, some spies, and they called themselves Nili, which means the initial of Netzach Israel Lo Yishaker, which means we're bringing the the redemption for Am Israel by bringing the British here. When the British conquered Israel, all the Jews in Israel thought that this is the Mashiach. It's the Allenby that came inside. This is the Mashiach, and the main person that were in charge on Eretz Israel were Herbert Samuel, that was a Jew. So it was something incredible. It's like Netzach Israel. After a few years, they found that Netzach Israel won't be from the British; have to be from someone else. but this is this underground. Next pasuk that you read in pasuk Lamed 30 was what we said, that he said, "Come with me, just to honor me in front of Am Israel. Come with me," and maybe this was his purpose from the beginning. Pasuk Lamed Aleph that you didn't read yet. Let's read it. I don't have any real answer. Did he came with him at the end or not? Can you read only this pasuk? Yeah.
And Shmuel returned after Shaul, and Shaul prostrated himself to the Lord.
All right. So you said himself. Himself is not in the psukim; it's only in the translation.
Right.
It's not really if it was Shaul by himself or Shaul and Shmuel was behind him. We don't know, but I think that this detail that was very, very important for Shaul was not so important for Shmuel or for us. Also, I think it's a kind of sarcastic. The main thing for Shaul in this conversation, we don't know really what happened there.
No, but it says Shuvimi, and then it says Vayashav Shmuel Acharei Shaul. So
what is Acharei Shaul? Or behind him, or he go and he's not. He's going out to a different place, and the end is Vayishtachu Shaul LaHashem. So again, in one it's Vayishtachu, it's in parallel. In the other hand, you have only Shaul. So we don't know exactly what happened there, but I think that in purpose is to show us this is not the main thing. Now,
Did Shaul repent? Was he sorry at this point?
his story in Pasuk of Dalet.
Really sorry?
Now, in Pasuk of Dalet, he already story. But if it's a deep story, we can't read it here. We can't see it here. We didn't read it here, and we won't read it anymore. So we don't have any evidence that it was a deep story.
So he says in Lamed again, Chatati, no?
Right. But he said, Chatati, Ata kabdeni. I made a sin, but now let's go. I mean, I can hear my children saying that, something like that. I'm sorry. Now give me the candy. All right. It sounds like that. Now I think there's some. I will go back to the question that we started with. Why David continued to be a king and Shaul is not? There's some answers. I think that the most. I won't repeat all the answers because I think that the most exact answer is that. Is the way that they ask for forgiveness. Which means Shaul didn't repent. He didn't ask for forgiveness. He didn't make any deep chazara b'tshuva. David did. We can see it. We have two different descriptions of what David did after Natan Navi criticized him. The first description is in Sefer Shmuel. They said immediately, his first two words is Chatati LaHashem. Chatati LaHashem, I made a sin for God. And without any request, any excuse, anything else, which means if you add more words, it just makes it worse. He said, I made a sin, that's all. And immediately the next sentence of Natan is Hashem me'avir chatatcha lo tamut, which means God forgive you, you won't die. I was saying in bracket that God didn't forgive him completely because he got very, very deep punishment, very, very hard punishments, some punishments, but he didn't die, and he continued to be the king.
Is this when he sent Bathsheba's husband to be killed or something? This sin?
Yeah, this sin of Bathsheba. So for this sin, he didn't die. He continued to be a king, but he got some other punishments. By the way, I think that one of the biggest punishments is that till today, 3,000 years after that, people continue to talk about David as a sinner. I think he's not a sinner. He made a sin and made Chazara B'Tshuva one of the most wonderful Chazara B'Tshuva, but one of his punishments that still people write articles and books and all that continue to.
Bad. It was pretty bad what he did.
It wasn't pretty bad. It was
bad.
It was totally bad. It was very, very bad.
Yeah.
But he made Chazara B'Tshuva, which means I tell you what. I
Like
think
the movie stars, they do this and then they say their story, and I mean it doesn't matter.
Oh,
it doesn't take away.
that's exactly the difference between Shaul and David. Like in the movie, like to say I'm sorry, it's very, very easy. It's very easy to say I'm sorry. I even did it sometimes in my life. But to deeply make a repent, deeply Chazara B'Tshuva, like David does, it's something very, very difficult. Now, what Chazal said that במקום שבעלי תשובה עומדים, אין צדיקים גמורים יכולים לעמוד. Which means, if you do real and deep Chazara B'Tshuva, it's even more than all the tzadikim. Now, this is my opinion. I think that all the people that are talking about David, that they say that it can't be that he did such a severe sin, they don't believe in Chazara B'Tshuva. All the people that not forgive David doesn't really believe in Chazara B'Tshuva. I think if you really believe in the force, in the power of Chazara B'Tshuva, you can understand that it was one sin that's not quite wrong, totally wrong, but it was totally Chazara B'Tshuva, so we have totally Melech Tzadik. And not only Melech, all the kingdoms after him, all his destiny and dynasty. So this is the story of David. I said that we have two descriptions. One of them is in Shmuel. It said two words, Chatati LaHashem. One of them is in Tehillim, Perek Nun Aleph. I strongly suggest you to just to read it, or to read it either in English or in Hebrew. Some of the psukim there is very, very famous, and we said those psukim in Yom Kippur. It started with David said it, Bevo Elav Natan HaNavi, when Natan HaNavi criticized him. And then you can say how he talked to himself on the most deep part of his soul, how he's sorry about that. And such a description, I think we don't have any Chazar B'Tshuva in the Tanakh that have such a description of Chazar B'Tshuva. And because of that, Chazal said that David Hakim Ula Shel Tshuva, which means he established the term of what is it real Tshuva. So I think that the kingdom of David continued to be a king not because of the sin, because of the tshuva. Shaul stopped to be a king again, not because of the sin, because he didn't make tshuva for that. Also, it's something very important for the kingdom of Am Yisrael, because Am Yisrael, unfortunately, will do a lot of sins in the future, and maybe some of the skill that you need as a king is not only to prevent them to make Chazara B'Tshuva, it's also when you're in the very, very deep trouble to just go up from this from here. Do you want to read it loudly? The Perek Nun Aleph, because I said
Not me.
do you want to read it, Sam? What? Never.
Doesn't that the person you quoted about Tshuva, that means someone who's closer to Tshuva, like someone who becomes religious. I didn't know it meant someone who does Tshuva from an Avera.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I thought it was someone who's Baal Tshuva, like someone who was not from, then he became from. That's what we call it, Baal Tshuva today.
I think in our modern life we spoiled a little bit the term Chozer B'Tshuva, which means today he's someone that were secular and now he's religious.
Yeah.
When the Talmud said במקום שבעלי תשובה עומדים, I think there weren't secular people, or which maybe there were some people that didn't make mitzvot, but not as a title. I'm secular. The original term Chazar B'Tshuva, to make the tshuva, is I made something wrong and I will fix it. I will repent it.
Rectify.
What?
Rectify.
Rectified?
Okay.
I will rectify it.
Okay.
So this is for all of that. Today we're talking about Baal Tshuva, that he changed all his lifestyle.
The meaning changed. Different meaning. Okay.
Yeah. But I think all of us could be Chozrim B'Tshuva, and sometimes we are. Sometimes we are. Sometimes we are not. It's not only have to be all over all our life.
Thank you.
Right, the end of the story. Let's read the last four psukim of the Perek.
Okay. And Shmuel said, "Bring Agag the king of Amalek near to me." And Agag went to him delicately. And Agag said, "Surely the bitterness of death has turned." And Shmuel said, "As your sword bereaved women, so will your mother be bereaved among women." And Shmuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. And Shmuel went to Ramah, and Shaul went up to his cousin Eva of Shaul. And Shmuel came no more to see Shaul until the day of his death, for Shmuel mourned for Shaul, and the Lord was repentant that he had made Shaul reign over him.
Right. So, two things. One of them, the death of Agag. Agag, when he see Shmuel, he understood immediately that he is going to die. Now, I don't think that Shmuel was cruel or something, because he know what Shmuel represent, he know what he himself represent. Then Shmuel killed him. Before he killed him, he said the sentence that, like you killed a lot of women, I will kill you. Now, this is
Not kill a lot of women, or made a lot of women.
made a lot of women.
Killed without children. Killed the children, made them childless.
Or kill the children, or kill the woman, which means it's what we said before, that Amalek systematically took the weak people, sometimes sold them as slaves, took them as spoils, which means that was their way to work. Because of that, if we ask at the beginning of this perek what is the moral reason to all this war, we can understand by this sentence also. Which nation is it? Which nation is it? Again, if we are talking about on Purim, on Haman, that we said that we are not know for sure that he's from Amalek, but this is maybe he's not biologically the descendants of Amalek, but his personality, that he also want to kill Taf v'nashim. He talk about the little children and the women, to kill them all. So it's the same.
In the Megillah.
Yeah. So if Haman did it, and probably Agag did it, so this will be their punishment, to kill them all. So,
but the sentence sounds like he says, "Achen sar mar mavet," means okay, he thinks like he's not going to kill him. Sar. What's the word sar?
no, star lasso is removed.
Yeah.
Sorry, not
So sar mar mavet.
I didn't thought about it as like that.
What does it mean, madanot?
Madanot, again, it's a very unique word. Today we use it as gently.
Madan chalav.
Like, yeah, madan it's something delicate, delicate or gently, or so this is madanot. I'm not sure that here it's also like that. In the modern Hebrew it's gently.
Here they said he came.
What it says here?
Yeah.
He came in chains.
Yeah, here it says he was kashul, or kashul.
Chains, like.
Yeah. Maybe because it's unique word in the Tanakh, we have to
I'll look at it.
To guess.
or to guess, or to compare it to different places. I didn't check it in the Parashanim. If I can check it next time to see.
How do you check it?
No, just to read what Rashi said, what Radak said, what Ralbag said, each one of them, and then usually in unique word they would say why they're saying what they say.
I have a dictionary. I have the Bible dictionary. So usually if it's a unique word, it will give you the other. If it's one or two places, it will give you the one or two places.
So this is Ma'adanot, and also the term Achen Sar Mar Hamavet. I thought that God will remove my life. My life will remove, and the death is coming. I didn't thought, like you said, that it's maybe the opposite.
The wrong bug things like you.
Oh yeah.
Just a minute.
Oh okay.
What is it?
Just a
They
minute.
have bad things like me.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up when I get home.
Listen,
Well, here also it translates maybe the bitterness of death. Like I'm no longer afraid of death because he figures it's coming.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid of death.
Not afraid of that because now it will kill me.
Yeah.
Translated? Surely the bitterness of death is past.
I don't.
Yeah.
Don't think it's
So it's not remove, it's coming. Rashi said, coming. The death is coming. Rashi for Ma'adanot said, like the Targum is mefanka. Mefanka is mefunak, which means spoiled, which means like gentle or like I said, delicate.
Oh,
So this is the Targum, and from that we have it in Hebrew today, till today.
Okay, but then how can
The Mitzudah David said, like you said, kashur b'shalshalaot, like kashur tied. Tied. This is Mitzudah David. It don't say what is no, there is in Iyov. Mitzudah Zion said, hitkasher ma'adanot kayam. I have to say it in Iyov inside. But in Iyov in Perek Lamed Chet.
ties a change.
What? How we know Iyov? That's what is a professional. You know it.
Someone is married and someone goes for guest.
I say most of the commentators said that it was tied.
That's called guest.
I didn't thought about it because of the Hebrews. Because today there is an expression, lalechet ma'adanot. Lalechet ma'adanot is to walk gently, without nobody will notice, or you want to ask a request from someone, so you're olech ma'adanot. But probably
like in English, be gingerly.
Huh?
Gingerly.
You walk gingerly. Quietly.
Yeah. But maybe tied is. I have to say the pasuk in Sefer Yov, because most of the commentators here saying that this is tied.
But Gan Eden is spelled differently?
Eden is spelled like that.
I would think that would be the major source if you want to think. If you
But
want to
they're
look for a source.
saying with
The Gra says, the first time it appears in the Tanakh, right? Why would we have a different meaning here than Gan Eden?
so what do you call the meaning? So
No, ma'adanot like Eden.
Gan Eden. The Shorsh is.
Yeah, but how does that translate the pasuk then?
Well, Gan Eden could be a very delicate, gentle garden. There was no war. There was no.
I see.
Right.
I see.
No fighting.
Yeah,
There
because
was no. Very gentle environment.
You could have different meanings.
There is also another pasuk. I remember Sarah said, "Achrei beloti hayta li edna." It's also.
Another means usefulness or something, right? It means
What?
Usefulness.
Or usefulness, or become to be young again, or like younger. Yeah. So
I'm sorry, the pasuk doesn't make sense. I understand.
which
Just as your side made women childless, so shall your mother be childless among women. But we know Agag had a child. We know.
Who said?
We know.
Who said that he have a child?
That's who Haman is. The Haman is called Agag.
That's what he said. That Haman called Haman Agagi, or one midrash said that he was a descendant of a child of Agag, but maybe that the way of behavior were like Agag. A descendants not biologically, descendants of metaphorically.
But no, not metaphorically. I read that Agag had relations
With somebody.
because he kept him overnight in jail.
Yeah.
He gave him enough time to have relations with a woman, and then by the time in the morning, the
He killed
woman
him.
disappeared, and it was only him. So nobody knew any.
But
knew any
Yisrael
better.
Miyashimi Mecha means that your mother will be childless, like you made other mothers lose their children.
Yeah.
Your mother will lose her children.
Child.
Who's his mother's? It's him, right? Not talking about his great grandchildren.
So that's what I'm trying to say. You're limiting it to his next of kin, or his child.
It's himself, not the next
Himself.
of kin.
So by killing
Like-
him, his mother becomes.
Like your grandchild is also your child.
No, we're not talking about children. His mother's child is him. His mother's child is him.
No, you can have a grandchild that's also called a child. I'd have to find where it is, but
Okay, so he's...
something. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not so straightforward to me.
Why would you say...
Because we say Haman,
So your
we say
mother-
Haman
so your mother
is
will be
a
First of all-
descendant of Agag,
Yeah.
right? So therefore, his mother had a grandchild.
Right, fine. But why would you go that kind? Why would you just give a straight translation? Why do you have to give a complicated?
Because in the Misa, in fact,
But you say him. First you say him. It could be the grandchild, but first you say him. And the grandchild is like...
Right. I want to clarify something. Even if it's not this midrash that you said, It's the midrash. It's not written here. Even if we accept this midrash as the reality or not, for sure he didn't kill all Amalek, all the Amalekim, because we'll see that David also will have a war against Amalek. So it's not one little baby. It will be from 1 year from now, or less than 2 years from now, David will have a war against Amalek. So they still have an army or some units. Now Amalek were a wandering nation. So maybe if he killed them all, he killed one group of the Amalekim. One group of the Amalekim, they have another groups. So I don't know, Haman, again, if biologically he was descendants of Agag, if Agag have some descendants that weren't in this group or in this unit, if, like I said, it's metaphorically, which means a person that continues the way of Agag, or maybe Agagi, it's something much different, but this is not for now. It is for the. If we will be a week before Purim, maybe we'll talk about it. But
Okay.
so I want to continue with the end. Shmuel went to the Ramah. Shaul went to Givat Shaul. They didn't met each other till the death of Shmuel or Shaul. Shmuel died before, and Shmuel mourned on Shaul till the day till the end of his life. It wasn't so long. It was like a year, like I said, because all the era of Shaul is 2 years, so it was maximum 2 years. But it's something very interesting because we know today where is the Ramah, where is Givat Shaul.
Yeah, I was there.
In which one of them?
Oh,
I suppose the Ramah, because usually Jews not reach to Givat Shaul. I tell you why. Where? No, there is a neighborhood in Jerusalem called Givat Shaul. That is not this.
Okay.
no, it's not this. It's the real. It's like a mountain or valley. What does Givat mean? Valley or mountain?
Givai is the hill.
Hill, yeah.
Okay? Like Thornhill. So it's a.
Right.
But I didn't found the hill, but like Thornhill. But where is the Ramah? Where is Givat Shaul? Ramah is a famous place called today Nebi Samuel. Nebi Samuel, it's in Arabic. Hanavi Shmuel.
Oh, Nebi Samuel.
Nebi Samuel. What we have there? We have there the tomb of Shmuel. Tomb of Shmuel. We have there some Christianity churches from the Byzantine era, which means like 1500 years ago. We have a mosque, Misgad. Again, we have a lot of people built there because it's a holy place. Because it's a holy place. Probably this is the same place of Ramah. How can we know it? First of all, it is usually the places that keep the names, kept the names by the Arabs or the Christians or all the people that were there. Secondly, is the highest mountain in this area. Because of that, it's called Ramah. Ramah is high. High. You can see it's very close to Jerusalem, a little bit north of Jerusalem, near Ramot. You know Ramot in Jerusalem, this neighborhood. Near Ramot, you have it there. Amazing place to go there. First, because you can see you can pray pray there. You can see all what you have for all the generation, and amazing view because 360 degrees, not degrees. 360 degrees of view, because it's such a high place. If you look exactly to the east, you can see another hill, very high hill. That this is probably Givat Shaul. I don't know exactly how they know that this is Givat Shaul. Today it's called Tel El Ful, and a lot of Arabs living there. I mean, it's near Shuafat, what's called Shuafat. Shuafat is a neighborhood in Jerusalem, but an Arabic neighborhood. What's very interesting in this hill, so up the hill you can see a palace, very big palace, that they didn't finish to build it. Why it's so? Because this is the palace of King Hussein, the Jordanian king, that he starts to build it. We start to build it during the 60s, last century. And in the middle of building this palace, there was the 6-day wars, and we conquered this area. So nobody wants to destroy this building because of the diplomatical issues for that. Nobody can continue this. Nobody can live there, and it like more than 50 years. It's still there. It's still there, half built. But like that, you can see the Givat Shaul. It's amazing because it's a palace, half built, in the place that you can see that there were the palace of Shaul, that his kingdom is half built, which means he started to be the king but didn't finish. I think a lot of the things in Israel like symbolize this. But I think the amazing things in those psukim, that you can see those two places one from each other, which means Shmuel that mourned of Shaul, and like we saw here in this parak that he loved Shaul, he can watch Shaul, he can watch his palace, and didn't reach there, and didn't talk to him, and he mourned. To mourn, it's like he's dead for him, even though it's a few kilometers of distance. And Shaul also can see Shmuel and can understand that they're sitting the prophet that said that he won't be king anymore. So it's I think a very dramatic geography to put them both one in front of the other.
Well, geography increases the tragedy of the situation.
Exactly.
Was it right that he didn't speak with him anymore?
Yes, he didn't speak with him anymore. There will be another case that he almost reached to him. That Shaul almost reached to talk with Shmuel, but it didn't happen, and we'll see why. Not in our path, but it will be.